I thought that it read beautifully. First of all, I didn't know Colin Clark or I hadn't read his books or anything, but I thought that the script had a pace and a flow and a heart, and her. I just responded to her. I grew up with a picture of her in my bedroom, and there was this picture of her, and she's wearing a white dress, and she's at Roxbury with Arthur Miller, and she's sort of spinning through the trees. So my primary association with her wasn't of the icon. It wasn't of this sort of sex symbol. It wasn't of it was like a girl-to-girl kind of relationship that I had. Not something, I didn't feel like she was sort of holding something over me, some kind of sexual power that I didn't understand. She was just a girl spinning in the trees. So that was my first approach. And it was a personal approach. Because so many people have so many ideas about who Marilyn Monroe was. And at a certain point, after you've done your research, you have to filter all the noise out, and you have to sort of pin something down and say, okay, this is my Marilyn. This is the way I see her. This is the way I interpret her. And I hope I do it justice, but it's a personal relationship. But then, of course, afterwards, now that it's something that's going to come out and you're going to talk about it, then all of a sudden you think, oh, what did I take on? She means so much to so many people, and that was... Now you feel the expectation. I didn't really feel it before. When I was first prepping to play Marilyn, what I didn't understand was the separation between her persona and who she was on the inside. And what I came to realize after reading a lot about her, spending time poring over images and films and press recordings, little video clips, was that Marilyn Monroe, how you commonly think of Marilyn Monroe, that was a character. That was an act, a finely honed act that she put on, that she developed over time with input from teachers, a lot of sort of just face time in the mirror, figuring out how to move in a way that accented her, what she had naturally. Marilyn Monroe was a character that she developed. I first saw him in New York in a play called Red. And when I saw it, I didn't know what to make of him. I didn't know if he was American. I just assumed he was American and exactly the person that he played, because he was so brilliant. And then come to find out, he's an English boy who went to Eton. And so remarkably, there were some similarities between his upbringing and Colin's upbringing. But he's incredibly versatile, and what I saw him do in Red is nothing like what he's doing in this movie, but his capacity, his talent in that play was so overwhelming, and I couldn't imagine anybody better to play this part. I mean, what he brings to the role, what he brings to a conversation, what he brings to the hair and makeup trailer, that man is like a force of nature, and he takes the weather with him wherever he goes. We were both so absorbed in what we were doing, and most often kind of locked into our computer with headphones on, listening to the voices of the people that we were trying to capture, watching their faces move. So he and I were sort of on like different sort of command centrals. But he gave me the greatest piece of film set advice I've ever been given. He said, I'm not going to try and do his accent. He said, I was standing around on set one day in my very tight dress, my very wiggy wig, and I said, darling, 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 got a great piece of advice for you. I forget who he got it from. He said, why stand when you can sit? And why sit when you can lay down? So please, Make yourself comfortable. And it really is true. It's actually a good idea. Why not lay down whenever you have the opportunity so you can conserve your energy? So I've taken that story to every set that I've been on since, and now it's my Kenneth Branagh story.